During the announcement of the baby, Jinger told online that she was able to tell them all together and that they were the cutest in their reactions to the news. When Jinger Duggar Vuolo found out that she was expecting her third child with Jeremy Vuolo, she immediately informed her mother and sisters of the news. On the other hand, the famous brood was taken aback by the crazy manner in which the big revelation took place. The bachelorette weekend that my sister Jana Duggar Wisman was celebrating in Los Angeles was attended by all of my sisters and my mother. All of them were discussing this topic during the course of the day. Because they had a large hot tub, they said something along the lines of, "We are all going to go enjoy the hot tub later." Jinger, who is 30 years old, reveals this information exclusively to people. They said, "Unless anybody has any news to share, because you're not supposed to sit in the hot tub when you're pregnant." When asked about the hot tub incident, the former cast member of Counting On admitted that it was actually a real thing I didn't think about. But she didn't say a word, and she kept it quiet. Jeremy, who is 37 years old, was then approached by Jinger in order to get his opinion on how she ought to proceed. As I was texting him, I was thinking to myself, should I simply tell them tonight? "Of course," he responded to her. "That is just remarkable. All of them are present at the same time," she stated. "After my mother and sisters had finished their time in the hot tub, I emerged from the water at a later time. Even though they were aware that I was perched on the edge of the seat, I chose not to speak up. After that, they asked, 'Isn't it chilly at this point? When are you going to enter?' At that moment, I thought to myself, well, I think you shouldn't do that if you're pregnant, right?" She revealed, "It was simply so shocking to see them. They were very adorable. All of them were able to hear me out at the same time. Jessa Duggar Seawald, Jinger's sister, was able to determine the gender of her child after the situation was resolved. When we were in Arkansas, I found out the gender of the child by having them undergo a blood test. The findings were sent to Jessa. She is my sister, and she is on the exact same level as me. According to Jinger, I wanted us to find out together, so she got the results, and then she sent it to us that we could find out together. I wouldn't have liked for it to simply arrive in my email." She continues by saying, "I told her that I needed to send it to her so that Jeremy and I could find out together. She then proceeded to send us a gift that contained a small clothing that revealed the gender of the child. This is really adorable. Oh, it is so adorable." Jeremy, who had previously played soccer in the Major League Soccer, shared this information with his parents when the couple was filming an episode of their podcast. "Our podcast was being filmed at the time. The girls were under their watchful eye for a period of 1 hour. Hey, in about an hour, we'd like to have you guys on the podcast just to talk about some parenting stuff," we told them. "We'd love to spend some time with you. Therefore, if you could just get ready," he says in an exclusive interview with Online. They got themselves ready, and then we asked them to take a seat. While we were in the process of recording the podcast, we started asking them extremely specific questions, such as, "What piece of advice would you give to a young couple who is about to have their third child?" He continues. They begin to respond, but then you are able to see the expression on their face. This begins to become clear to them. Following that, I wrapped my arm around Jinger and asked another inquiry, the answer to which I do not recall at this time. After that, it dawned on them, and they were kind of shaken up by the realization. And from that point on, everything has gone downhill. But I had a good time. Jinger Duggar Vuolo shares crazy story of how she told her mom and sisters she was pregnant with baby No. 3. It was a sunny afternoon in Los Angeles when Jinger Duggar Vuolo, reality TV star and author, sat down to reveal the story behind her latest family surprise, a third pregnancy. After years of living in the spotlight on 19 Kids and Counting On, Jinger had experienced her fair share of unforgettable family moments, but her announcement of baby number 3 was something special, one she wanted to share exclusively with her fans. "Honestly, this is one of the most fun things I've done for a pregnancy announcement," Jinger laughs as she begins the story. "It was just too wild. I wanted to make it memorable for my family back home, and I think they'll remember this forever. After discussing the idea with her husband, Jeremy Vuolo, Jinger hatched a plan that combined her creative side with her love for surprises. The idea behind the surprise: when Jinger first learned she was pregnant, she was overjoyed. Since moving to Los Angeles, she'd grown used to the distance from her large, tight-knit family in Arkansas, but sharing big news like this over the phone just didn't feel right. She wanted her announcement to be more than just a video call. It had to be something memorable. "I thought, I need to do something different this time," Jinger explains. She spent days brainstorming ideas, scribbling down notes in her journal about how to deliver the news. "It was almost like planning a mini family reunion, except I wasn't even going to be there in person." Finally, she decided on something a bit theatrical: a mystery package that would include not just hints, but also a family game for her mom, Michelle, and all of her sisters to play together. The idea was to turn it into a guessing game. At the end, they would have to figure out the big surprise. Putting the plan in motion, after Jeremy approved the plan, they went into full production mode. First, Jinger put together a gift box filled with items that would hint at the new addition. She included baby-sized hiking boots as a nod to her family's love for outdoor adventures, a mini Dodgers cap to represent her life in Eldorado, and at the bottom of the box, an ultrasound photo. "I knew that if I threw in some misleading hints, like a miniature football and a picture of Jeremy's old college, they'd be all over the place trying to guess," Jinger laughs. The final touch was a card that read, "Something precious is on the way." The next challenge was getting her mom and sisters all in one place to open the box together. Luckily, Michelle Duggar was planning a family game night with the girls at their house that weekend, so Jinger arranged to have the package arrive just in time. The big reveal: when the package finally arrived in Arkansas, Michelle and the girls were intrigued. The box was wrapped in bright yellow with "Do not open until the family's together" scrawled across it. Curiosity buzzing, they waited until everyone was there, including Jessa, Jana, Jill, Joyanna, and all the younger sisters. As they opened the package, they found the random assortment of items that immediately sparked a mix of emotions, from amusement to outright confusion.